a circular process where I have 6 to 9 containers that make the water drinkable. Because if you drink coagulated water, everybody thinks, oh, coagulation is good. No. If you drink the water, you still die. So it's good that the paint is out, but there's a lot of shit that is still in there. So please keep it out of our water system. So I thought, how cool would it be if I can drink paint water? If I can just have a machine and I put it in there and not like a process where it's completely demineralized, but it's healthy water to drink. And that we built in Neeruteren. We showed it to a lot of people. Everybody that came was absolutely gobsmacked, jaw-dropping about, because I hold trout in the pond that comes from the paint water. So I have rainbow trout swimming in it, and I drink the water almost daily.
You gotta be brave.
Welcome, everybody. After a successful Dutch podcast we had with Awake and Brave, we also gonna do it for your business now in English, because you have an international audience, and that's why we do this. Thank you for watching. Welcome, Timmy.
Thank you, brother, for introducing, and thank you, brothers, for asking me the question. What did you set in Dutch? Because I find it an interesting topic, rinse water and spraying paint. Yet, I do not understand Dutch, so let's try it again in English. So, thank you, Phil, for helping.
In my podcast, we brought you back in time how you started your business, and maybe it's good to have a summary of your startup time back in the days as a painter.
Okay, thank you, brother. At first, I was a welder, so I came from welding. And then the welding business didn't do good anymore. I was a construction worker in welding. And I went to a painting, professional decorator company. And I started enrolling into painting by hand and with a brush. So I disliked it at the beginning because I was used to do a very tidy job with millimeters and making sure everything fits. So I saw there on those job sites I needed to make square meters or square foots. I needed to really gas it hard. And I thought, my God, man, each day we're sweating our balls off, making with the rolls and brushes like that, doing the edges. And I thought, there should be a more easier way of applicating this because I get really stressed in my back from it, doing it all day. So I started raising the question then when I was working for a boss. Hey boss, how can we do it better? How can we do it faster without me being all day sore with rolling and brushing? And with the fact that I disliked the structure on the walls. So if we did a very big ceiling, we needed to be with 2 or 3 people depending on the room temperature. For one does the edges or 2 people does the edges, and then the other one is with a big roller rolling in between. So that's, I call it hard work. Not fun work, but really hard work.
Can imagine.
Yeah, it is. And then my boss at that period said, well, we have spraying machines, but I don't know how to use them. We have one here in the shop if you want. Be my guest. So I started fiddling and playing around with it, and I had the hang of it, and I thought at first, wow, man, this is easy and this goes fast, so let's do this. And then for 1.5 years, I really engaged in the role of spray painting. So for all projects, they asked me, let Timmy spray it, because he does it really fast. Yet, with the understanding that I was making money for the boss, and I saw that my boss was doing things with the money that I was not agreeing on, and I had the knowledge and a background of I was a chef once, so I told people what to do, and I made offers. So I could make the offer in my head, okay, I did 1,000 square meters in one day. What does he make with that money, and how much do I get in return? And I got peanuts for a lot, especially because there was nothing with safety measures. I was working without a mask and was just taking in all the shit and getting it in my eyes. And this way, long story short, I encountered the problems that we had on the field. That meaning, if I asked somebody a question, how to spray something or how to tape something or how to do something or which paint to use for which surface, there was never a real answer. Because factories at those time, and I'm talking about 15 years ago, they had spraying machines and they had a Wagner From Caparol, they had a special product, Nesprit Tex, and still exists, or Nesprit, and they developed the special spraying machine and paint for it. So that was actually one of the first paints that I know that were used for spraying walls and ceiling.
Okay.
But not for lacquer, so not for interior trims or for doors or something else that professional decorators, they have that on their clients. Clients ask them for furniture to spray, walls and ceiling to spray everything. And you didn't have products for that. And also, nobody taught us how to do it because my chef said, hey, jongen, you manage, you see how it goes, and I just go with the flow. I diluted the paint. I use it for, I did a lot of things to manage it. I learned how to tape, but it took me a long time with falling and because at that time we sprayed under really high pressures. That means that we had to spray sometimes the paint at 200 bars.
Okay.
And you can tape. You saw it how we did it here.
Yeah.
There was not a lot of taping, and we sprayed with low pressures now with the spray paint. So,
yeah. But then is the moment that you reckon that you become an entrepreneur.
Yes.
Because you can calculate the offers and yeah.
Thank you for noticing and bringing me back to that point. Exactly, brother. I saw, okay, man, I'm really getting peanuts for this, so can I do it myself? Because I'm the only one in a big company that knows how to do it. And can I implement it on private job sites? So I started pitching this to you, to my family, to your dad, to everybody around me. Hey man, let me spray that paint. I have a method, you know. Do you have some paint? I will spray it and I will show you how smooth I can apply it. And from that moment, everything changed. So I enrolled of being an self-employed, I call it, being a professional decorator, because in the meanwhile, I did studying. I did after schools to really manage and have the knowledge to be a high-end painter. Yeah. I wanted to start immediately in a good section where I can say to myself and to the people around me, okay, I'm really a studied professional decorator. Not a painter, but studied. So I started doing it, and yeah, you know me from the growth. We developed the first logo together from T-Boss. So this is where it all started. And in that trajectory, I saw in my own core business a lot of problems coming up that we experience. Of one, being a spray painter, not having the material. You go in a shop and there is a lots of pots and paints and different brands and different prices and different support. That guy says this, that guy drinks coffee, that guy doesn't say anything. So I had to learn with falling on my face and going back to job sites and really being an asshole on the job site when something really went wrong. And then I did not have any support. Yeah. So from that moment, I situated some problems and I started really focusing on those problems and solving them. Yeah. The first question was, how can I change this?
Yeah, I can remember the day that you told me I was rinsing out my brushes and rolls in the backyard or something like that, and there was a lot of microplastics, and from that moment off, you had an epiphany, and
exactly,
you started a new company. No, it was an idea.
It was a big problem that I encountered. Correctly, thank you for reminiscing this, Phil, with me. Well, the problem was that I started really good being this. Your dad also made a lot of advertising for me, so I had a lot of job sites coming from him, buying the paint with him. So people saw that we had a very high level of finish, and I am still very accountable. When they ask me something, I will be there. I make the offer. I act fast. I act always if it would be for myself or for you. So from that point of view, I took people in because job sites came profoundly. Yeah. I had a lot of work and took people in to train to do this. So that means that I did not have my own rolls and brushes to clean, but I had also from colleagues and the people that I employed also to clean. And each Saturday I was sitting on my arse outside and rinsing the rolls and brushes with a small, with a hose, garden hose. And the shit flies out and it's really a mess. So I thought, really, what the fuck am I doing here? Should I throw these rolls and brushes constantly away for each job site and each color? Just throw them away. Should I rinse them in the sink? No, in a sink I cannot because it has safety data sheets and it says that the paint is toxic. So actually what I'm doing is fucking up the planet, because why would be on the papers that it's toxic, you know?
But actually, individuals don't think about this because I was always doing it.
Me neither, brother. I was doing it the same. I was finishing a job site with the client and then rinsing it out in his sink, cleaning it, checked if nobody saw it and it was good. Or when I sprayed my paint, it was worse. I had it in a bucket. I always had rinsing water in a bucket. And what do you do with it? You chuck it down the toilet. You chuck it down the drain. And I have from all professional decorators that I know, more than 80% chuck it down the drain and clean out their rolls and brushes on the sink.
Yeah.
So we had one problem coming out at that moment, and I asked myself the question, okay, man, what the fuck am I doing, and what is paint? What is paint? And is this good for the planet or not? Then I asked for the safety data sheet. I studied the safety data sheets from all products, water-based or it doesn't matter. It says that it's environmental toxic. So when you drink paint, you die from it. So why would we chuck it down the drain and put it in our own system of drinking water, or put it, not everything that we pour down the drain, I learned in this process, gets in our water, but some of the water goes directly to the creeks. Into the creeks it goes to the rivers, and the rivers it goes to the sea. And this is one big pot, guys. It's one globe, one planet. It's not you're this or that. No, we're one. We have one globe, and it's all a big accumulation of water and those debris. Because I asked myself in that question, the second question, how many of us are doing this? Well, I started studying in the numbers, or how much we are doing this with how many professional decorators, not counting the private sector or the how do you say, the handymans. And I understood that for Belgium we have 19,500 companies. I'm not talking about people, companies that professional decorate. In Holland we have 29,000 approximately. In Germany we have 44,000, and I learned now from the professional decorators and from Colin Bidwell that there are like 100,000 of companies, decorators, are in the UK. So that's massive. Because from that moment on, I stopped doing it. I looked in the mirror and I thought, why is nobody doing something with this? And why do I not know, when I'm a professional decorator, that this is toxic and that people do not communicate this more profoundly than having it on a sheet that I need to search on internet or ask somebody.
Yeah.
So from that moment on, Phil, our life shifted, because we started branding and come up with solutions. And today we are 7 years later, and we walked already a beautiful path. And now we have the opportunity to tell the world what we are doing and which solutions we created for the market to help them.
Yeah, because nobody knows it maybe, but when it's coming in the ocean, the microplastics, it's also getting into gas when the sun is heating.
The fish.
So we are also breathing.
The mussels.
Yeah, and
Breathing.
we're eating, breathing, and drinking plastics at this moment.
Exactly,
so,
brother.
And this is one problem in this
Paint.
world.
Yes,
paint. Yeah.
We can call it like acrylics, grain microplastics, nanoplastics. You have decorative techniques with glitters in. You have a lot of things, but just the pure mineral, just the pure binder of it, all the PUs and acrylics and all the acticides and biocides and the titanium dioxide, zinc, metals, copper, chrome, I found so much in paint with seeing own recipes in our own, because we are a factory now. We produce our own paint, and we have a range of spray paints. You do not have to search anymore in your store with what primer to use and what is this and how does this work. No, you have one simple gamma of products, black label and white label, easy apply and skilled apply. For the starters, we have the easy apply. For the masters, we have the black label. We have the support from people on the field. We developed this with my own knowledge on the field, with people around us. Everybody that knows us, they know that we come from the field. That means that we do not talk about things that we do not know. We talk about things we know of from experience.
And it started with the idea of the paint, but it actually started with the cleaning of the plastics.
Exactly.
And this came out of it.
Exactly, brother. This is how beautiful it grown from sitting there, making a hammock, really polluting everything, asking the question, and from that day forward, brother, It's amazing what happened, how many people I have met and told me what paint is. They answered my question. I came in labs with the factories that told me, okay, these are the chemical properties of paint, this is in it, this is why it does not have to be in the ocean, really it has to stay out of it. And I looked in the mirror and as I said, and I repeat myself, why is nobody doing something about that? And then I realized I am that someone. Nobody was doing it. So I had a choice from that moment. Or I gave up everything, yes. Or I do something about this, or I don't. And what do I tell my son? I come up with the idea, I come up with the problem, I see it, I'm watching outside, okay. So I thought, okay, Timmy, you're up for it?
So you sold your house.
Yeah, at first I tried with business angels. I tried with, you know the story. We've tried to find investors, but at that moment everybody told me, like, my God, man, you have an amazing idea. Yeah. But it's just not more than an idea. It will never work. You will never get the painters that far to do this and that. And I said, well, I'll show you. So I came home.
Started working on a business plan.
Working on a business plan, then I figured out what do I need for this, and at those moments I needed a lot less than I know now. So yeah, I got small insights and I sold my house. I used the house as leverage, not to buy a property but to rent a property. I made a financial plan, I loaned from the bank, and with all that I implemented something that I had in my head. How to start. I started really small with a small machine. I scaled it up, I scaled it up, I scaled it up. We adapted all branding like 5 times over. For the first time we was known as plastic stop painters. Yeah. And everybody was telling us that we were bringing out something negative, something activistical. Yeah. So we needed something that was that told a solution, and that's cleaning water globally. What else are we doing? It's one drop in the ocean. Well, it's the whole ocean that we contaminate with this. So let's call it. And this is it, guys. I'm really proud of the work that Phil put. So this is the logo. I found it with the arrows that we had to be circular and that the globe is round, so that water comes back to us.
But at that point, there was not a circular program.
It was just a problem. Yeah. It was how to get the rinse water and how to get it with me to clean it and how to pitch this. So I started making videos. The first one was from Waterschei. I had the problem where I said, jij en ik, we hebben een probleem.
You and me,
we have a problem. I'm a professional decorator, etc., etc. And I understood that it's good to mention a problem, but mention the solution faster and only talk about that. And from that day forward, we scaled up 3 years, 4 years in a row now. We managed last year to make a full year of piloting with 60 people. So 60 people we sold starter kits to. And to tell you guys what a starter kit is, it's an empty bucket, so you pay forward for 10 buckets when you spray your paint. Or also when you roll or brush. You can deposit your rinse water in the bucket. It comes back through deposit points or to a grow shop. The paint comes back. When you order paint, you give your full bucket and it goes back to the grow shop. When you have dirty rollers and brushes, you just put them in the pot, you put it under water, you put the lid on, you write your name on the sticker, and from that moment, the grow shop and Clean Water Global will manage everything else. You get your rollers back really nice and clean. So this is from a guy that Clean Water Global did last week. So they're all rinsed out, they're in perfect condition, and it's half of the price than a new roller, and it's still brand new. So why would you throw this away, you know? Yeah. Why would you put it in the ocean? Because at first everybody said to me, yeah, man, you have a really good idea, but what does it cost? What is the investment? How much do I have to pay? And I got so sick of it, I thought, my God, is everything about money, you know? We do a contribution, you make a lot of money spraying your paint and being a professional decorator. When you do it good, you really have a good business. You can buy yourself a nice car, a nice house, you can go on holidays when you do it good. So I thought, why not give something back, a little bit back? But the question remained, how much does it cost? And it agitated me that much that I thought, okay, I'm going to make it that you make money with it. Yeah. So I invented, somebody was using it already, the contribution. Yeah. So when you buy here in Europe, or in Belgium and Holland, you buy an electrical appliance, you already pay for the disposal of it.
Yeah.
And the same thing is, you are the client and you ask me to spray your room or to roll and brush your room. Well, should I pay from my own pocket because you asked me to spray it? And do I have to chuck it down Mother Earth or in our drinking water just because you asked me to spray your... No. I take care of it. I asked my clients first, you can have my rinsing water, you do with it what you please. And they ask me what to do with it. I do not want your rinsing water. Okay. Do you want to pay me 2% extra on my offer, a contribution, so I can manage my wastewater, so I can decently clean out my rolls and brushes or let it do for me, and I know that I don't pollute. And all those clients for 7 years long, they said, wow, thank you for doing this, because what other things happen with it? Yeah, I chuck it down your drain or down your toilet. And they are all still today like, no, I don't want you to do it. To give you an example, on an offer of 5K, 5,000 euros I'm talking about now, it's 100 euro.
Yeah.
So I have some buckets of rinse water. Well, for those 100 euro, I can bring it into Clean Water Global. They process it. They give me a certificate, and I make some money on it.
Yeah.
It does not cost as much. It's a few.
They need to pay or bring a contribution.
For 7 euros per 10 liters, that's the money that has to be built in the system, so everybody makes a little bit, because you also have the grow shops. They put a deposit point, collection point where the buckets go to, and Clean Water Global goes around and empties the big containers. So this way, I came up with an idea and a logistical model that forms a problem into a solution and then even gives back and makes extra money from it. So it does not cost anything. I managed with T-Boss, and I'm calculating, this is the core business where I sprayed our paint ourselves with the people that I employed. We figured out from 2017 until 2022, we made a calculation that we made 1,250,000 euros. On each offer that I sold was 2% contribution. That's 25,000 euros that I had extra. The cost of processing it was 4.5K, so I had 20.5K on my account for doing the right thing. Yeah. So when people ask me now, what does it cost? Well, absolutely nothing. You make money with it.
Yeah, but I can imagine that for different countries, the price will be different, maybe.
This is why we put it up, brother, for license. And each country has their own process method. They have their own environmental issues. And you have to, in Belgium, it's really easy. In Holland, it costs twice the much of money to have your milieuvergunning, your environmental license. Exactly. Thank you. For managing that. So yes, it could be that in the UK, for example, it's 9 euros per 10 liters, but still, it's peanuts for the money that we receive, because on this project, for example, with the floor, it was almost 12K, everything, and I had 30 liters of rinsing water, brother. So for me, it was only 21 euros to dispose of it correctly. Yeah. So yes, we came up from that moment that I sat on my knees. We brought a solution into the world. We're talking about 7 years of growth together.
But you had you built the machine on your way down, because it's improving every time. Every time I see you, I did a little bit with this and a little bit of that. Yeah. So then you came up with, I can't manage this on my own to be the only sustainable processor in the world.
There's indeed.
So there is another business model for the people, also the factories, how do you say it, the suppliers, the painting suppliers, as also a business model, and also the people who want to be sustainable and to have the full process.
So we have we're gonna talk first. First is the professional decorator. Yeah, that's the first. He buys the starter's kit, so he can start with putting his excess water or his rolls and brushes in the bucket. Yeah. Then we have the business model for the deposit point. Yeah. Also, we have a lot of painters that are deposit point, because they said, okay, I want to be a collection point for those units because I want to do it for myself, but also the people around me in my village. So we manage the business model for them as a collection point, and they make money. They get 3 euros per 10 liters for managing the deposit point. They need that money because they do a lot of follow-up and they see that everything goes correctly. Clean Water Global asks €4 for the collection and the treatment of the water.
Yeah.
And this is the third model. Then you become a processor. And you can be a processor in twofold. When you make the smallest investment, you can have a process that everything that we build, it's a unit that rinses everything. And then you collect it somewhere and it coagulates. Yeah. You add a substance and that substance separates the water from the fixed residue. Okay, we call that sustainable. Because I'm already really happy that nobody chucks it down the drain where it gets processed there. Yet, I really would like to bullet and to send out the highest value, and that's what we're doing. We have a circular processor company. Exactly. This is why Phil made the 4 arrows on it, so it's circular. And now comes the beauty part and also why we made this paint. Okay, so what do we do, or what can you find from us, what we do in Belgium? We have a circular processing plant. We get the water that needs to be treated in, the rinse water, the paint water, let's say. We neutralize it by coagulating it. Then we have nano filters in between it, so we extract absolutely the last grain of microplastic or shit out. Then I built myself, and I took some time to develop this. It took me 4 years to study in water. I first needed to know what is water, how does it react when we add chemicals in it, and how can I get it out. So I built a circular process where I have 6 to 9 containers that make the water drinkable. Because if you drink coagulated water, everybody thinks, oh, coagulation is good. No. If you drink the water, you still die. So it's good that the paint is out, but there's a lot of shit that is still in there. So please keep it out of our water system. So I thought I need to have it. How cool would it be if I can drink paint water? If I can just have a machine and I put it in there, and not like a process where it's completely demineralized, but it's healthy water to drink. And that we built in Neeruteren. We showed it to a lot of people. Everybody that came was absolutely gobsmacked, jaw-dropping because I hold trout in the pond that comes from the paint water. So I have rainbow trout swimming in it, and I drink the water almost daily.
We need to put a disclaimer on this because the government will not approve it, but you did the test.
I drink it.
You did the test as well with we did a magnetic machine or
governmental. We had labs coming over it, and I need to pay €800 just to give me an okay. So I received from a guy in a white suit. Okay, it's okay to put the water in the drain now because it's very good quality and it's okay. I said, wow, man, I have to pay €800 for this. At least can you tell me how good my water is? No, because you're not studied to have the answers in your head. I said, okay. So I thought I'm going to be a little bit rebellic in it. And from all the fishes in the world, the rainbow trout is the most sensitive one. Yeah. So you cannot put polluted water in its creek because it will die. Yeah. And we managed 177 trout, and some of them they tasted delicious. Some of them the heron took. So yeah, we had an amazing road until here. And now people from countries are looking to our system and are seeing, okay, what is that guy doing, and can we do it also?
Yeah, and also the circular system is really good because the diluted or the, how do you say it, the extra materials that
the raw. So we take exactly, brother. Thank you for the question, raising that. The circular model in this is because for me, I had a fixed on clean water. I want to have it drinkable, but then there was a residue coming from it, and that was the paint that we extract from the water. Sometimes we have it as pure paint, but sometimes we have it also coagulated. We have in the containers, we suck out pure paint when it settles, but we also have still wastewater, or I do not call it wastewater, it's paint water, diluted paint, and we coagulate it. So I thought, what to do with the residue? Now, governmentally, we have to burn it to have our papers for our environmental paper, to do it.
Approval.
To have an approval on it. So I thought, man, this is also, I do not want to burn this stuff. So what can we make from it? And then I started to doing testing, just smearing the product that came out of the coagulation tank. You would say, my God, you do not smear it on a plate, but I did a lot of testing with it. I added some colors with it. And the products that we are able to make from that, from the shitty residue being the coagulated, it's some debris in and you put powder in it, but it's still a high quality product. It still has adhesive power, it still has sandable power. So I thought, wow, this is circular. When factories are gonna understand how much of this product goes down the drain and what you can make of it, what I made of it in a few evenings, with just brainstorming with myself, what would big companies make from all this residue that we do not pour down the drain, but we get it back in this system so companies and factories can reuse their fillers. They can make paint from it, they can make decorative technique. I made putty from it, raw fillers, you can press, like I said, the biggest test that I did on it, I kept water for 2 years when I was in the company. When I did applicating myself still as a professional decorator, in Hasselt I had 10 containers stacked on top of each other because I had rinse water each day and I just put it in IBC units. And then when I developed the machine, I used that to test it with. And the last batch, it was 2 years sitting outside in the sun, 2 winters, 2 summers. So when I opened it, man, it was corpses coming out of it. Yet I managed to make this out of it, and that putty I used on my plates. So that gave me, okay, in 2 years' time we still have this quality. So what is else possible? And then I released that question because I started working with you for communicating this really well, to putting everything really nice, even the logos of the rolls and brushes, that people can really see, okay, how does it work? And if you saw our first buckets that we made, they were a lot more simple than this. The system, we did not have the 4 business models. So for now, yes, we are ready to go abroad.
We are also working on something that the people can put on their website, so that they can show off how many water they've rinsed.
Exactly.
And that's a really good thing. It's a good cause, and people will reckon with it, and they will say, okay, this is an amazing product, and this is an amazing professional decorator. I want to work with this guy. So it's really amazing. But then you need painting companies or big brands who need to work with this project, and also there you need to prove them wrong. So you build
proof. They wanted proof.
Yeah.
They all said, this is amazing story, but who are you? And who are you to change something that is going on so many times? Well, then I saw a podcast from Richard Branson, and he said, it are the lunatics that really think about themselves, they are lunatic enough to change the world, that actually do it. So I thought, yeah, let's give it a try. And I show them different, because now they're watching, okay, this is really something that we can use. So at first, the first problem with this was how to get it at the grow shops, because we did not have collection units. We just had our machine that processed this water. We had an idea, but how to do the logistics.
Yeah.
And then everything fell into each other like a puzzle. So nice, because there was one big problem, 2 big problems. Which paint do you use? Because I had to shop in 2 different countries for 6 different products to have a system on my job site that works for T-Boss. That means, saying it in stupid, I had to go to X to buy lacquer, I had to go to Y to buy primer, I had to go to Z in Germany to get wall paint, etc., etc., etc. So I thought, wow, man, how cool would it be if I would have that from my own, in an own brand, and not a shitload of numbers and wall paint and this brand, and this costs so much, and this has this reduction. I thought, no, very transparent, one nice situated gamma of products for interior, for walls and ceiling, and for outside. Very simple. And I thought, well, if nobody else is doing this and nobody else is focusing on spraying paint, well, I will. So we came up with our own knowledge that we already had from the company. We started tweaking products. I started asking factories if they could produce such things for me. And they said yes. So we started with the development of this. We developed in the same time this brand.
Spray paints.
Spray paints, well, it's clear. It says it all. Spray your paint. We have, like I said, white label and black label pots. The white label are for people that begin. It's really easy to apply. You get a very good support from our group. We have all ambassadors that work on the field, so when you have somebody on the phone, they know what they're talking about, so they help you at the best way possible. And the black label is really for the masters that know how to, it's thinner, it's nicer on the feeling, it's tighter, but you need to manage your environment with heating, with circulation, etc. But the most important part about this is the logistical system of your rinse water. That means how to get the rinse water from the job site to me or to the factory or to Clean Water Global, or how to do it.
Or the paint supplier is also
Exactly.
Yeah.
So a paint supplier, and nobody was doing this, so I had to be our own example. We are the paint supplier that show the world, okay, how does it work? Well, you empty the bucket, you buy the bucket with X. You buy a bucket of paint, it's spray paint. Well, when it's empty, you have a recipient. And you have the diluted paint water, it's the same. It's the same product, the data sheets match, the safety data sheet match. So you just put your diluted paint that comes from this bucket back in the bucket.
Yeah.
And you present it again when you have your next order to the grow shop. The grow shop takes it with him, puts it in the deposit pot, etc. So this way we manage not only a brand that for me is representative globally, because walls and ceiling is walls and ceiling. There are walls and ceiling in Holland, there are walls and ceiling in Belgium, in the UK, in America, everywhere there are walls and ceiling. When you're in Sweden, it's mostly wood, but then you have exterior or interior products to do your stuff with, and it's not like 15 different types of primer. No, it's one. One primer in combination with the end coat, and always like that. Very simple. And that what we did, we implemented all our knowledge from on the field in step-by-step programs. So you have a step-by-step plan that says to you from A to Z how to implement this product, how to tape, how to sand in between, how to take off humidity, how to manage your job site, which temperatures and everything. So we upscaled already what is existing, and we actually, brought something on the market that was not existing.
It is also a label on the it's a label on the label. We are cleaning the ocean, so after usage, insert your rinse water, rolls, and brushes.
Exactly.
And when we can have this on Sigma, Caparol, and stuff like that,
The big companies, exactly. They could do.
Where we are going forward.
100%. We would like to cooperate with all those companies because we understand the contribution that we make together. And especially I would like to see a lot more products coming forward of the raw material that we take back from, because they're magic, they're gold.
Yeah.
I would like to see that people understand how important it is to get that back. Yeah. Because we are looking at a circular economy. 5 years from this day, brother, nobody talked about it. Yet it really is realized now, and we're having targets of 2025, 2030 to implement, and they will go after the spray painters and the professional decorators, because the government knows they pollute. Yeah. They have to manage immensely budgets, because it's a centralized water purification system, our Aquafin and our people that manage our drinking water. It's centralized. So that means that all the shit goes to them. They don't want it anymore.
Yeah.
So, or we have to show that we're doing the right thing with it, and this is the most beautiful part about Clean Water Global. This was what you mentioned before. We have certificates. So when you as a painter, you bring in a quarter, we do not do it each time, we notify it in a quarter, that you bring in 200 liters of rinse water. So you get a certificate where that proves that you produced drinking water and raw material, and you see exactly which amount of raw material and which drinking water, and that you can put in your accountancy. When you have a control in 2025, they can look back for 4 years and you can show them, okay, I was already aware and I made the steps.
Yeah.
So it's not
the early adopters.
It's not if, it's when.
Yeah.
And yes, we have early adopters. Like I said, we have 60 people where we piloted this with. And all the 60 people are really happy with doing it. The ones that understand the business model and that ask the client, they find it absolutely amazing, because they understand how it really works, and it's for free for them. They manage and they make a little bit of money with it. So when you have that knowledge and mindset, and you know that you contribute instead, because I understand as a professional decorator and a spray painter, when you open the toilet with your clients and you chuck it down the drain, especially when you have children and want to be here longer on this earth, then you understand that you're doing something awfully wrong and better not.
Yeah.
So it's one for all and all for one in this.
Yeah, and the next step, now you have a community in Belgium and the Netherlands, and there are also interests from Portugal, England, the UK.
Exactly.
I had some talks in Sweden, so people are aware of this problem, and that's good. And now the next step is build that community to get more people aware, and we are doing this now with content. I get this epiphany as well. You need to get digital marketing on point.
Pitch us about Social Runners, brother, because that helped us a lot also.
Yeah. What I'm doing is that I'm building socialrunners.com, and it's a platform where you can book content creators as photographers, videographers, and influencers to build your community with an online presence. So when you want to book a content creator for now, it's a hassle. It's really difficult because
To make the first video, for example, where I told them, you and me, we have a problem about this.
Yeah.
The investment of that for one video was almost 3.5K. So
Yeah, for example. But the problem we mainly solve is that you can go on the platform and you can put on your location and the date that you need a content creator, and you have the available content creators for you. And that's really
from your region also.
from your region. Yeah, that's a big issue that is solved, because when you want to, I'm a marketeer, yeah, you know,
Yes.
and when people want to put on online marketing, I was texting and calling and emailing many creators in that area, but nobody was available or was too expensive for this project. So it's a hassle to hire content creators.
Exactly.
And that's the thing we solve with the platform. It's like LinkedIn with Airbnb combined. And business-wise, it's more like takeaway or Uber or
I
something
find it
like
very
that.
efficient, because is it correct that you can also choose your partners in your surrounding by the material or the assets that they have? Let's say some of them, they're only just videographer. By some of them, they have drones, they can pitch, they can do a lot of things. Is that correct?
Yeah, correct. Yeah, it's not a Fiverr, because everybody, it's Fiverr. No. It's basically the most important thing you need to solve is local available creators, so the brand can become an influencer,
Exactly.
because nobody knows you. Nobody knows you.
Exactly.
And they need to know you.
Or from mouth to mouth, but at this times we need to get it some faster. And I managed together with you to build all that we're doing on Instagram and social media,
Yeah.
with the content and videos and being consistent at it.
Yeah. And also for this, we are talking about creating an app. So that the hassle of bringing back the rinse water and stuff like that will be easier and easier, and that you have an overview of your
Rinse
water offers.
Certificates.
Yeah, certificates. Also, the money you get back. It's like a wallet, a digital wallet about what you made with rinse
So
water.
guys, you see, we're not there yet, and we're evolving.
No, yeah,
like
we are
crazy.
evolving, but
Really
yeah,
nice.
you need an MVP. You need something where you need to start, and you already have many people behind this project, and now we are ready to get it out there. And
How important do you find that our social media and branding and making it in this brand is now for going further with it?
it's the most important thing, because you need to build community, and they have the word on mouth advertising for you, because
And they share videos.
and they
sometimes.
share videos. But when you go to a shop and can I help you? We don't want it anymore.
Mhm.
We want help when we need help.
Exactly.
So if you already build a community with what you are doing, and people are inspired by this,
Exactly.
you are building community, and they talk about your project or your product or what else it is.
Why do
And-
we have that feeling, brother, when we ask a salesman, how can I help you? Because we understand, how can I help myself get your money? Or
There's also how they do it. How they do it now is that they listen to you, and you share your problems with me, and afterwards I come back and I have the solutions for you. It's also a good option, but it's one-on-one.
Mhm.
It's good. You also need to do this. But if you want to be sustainable as a brand, you need to build that community, and that community is only built with consistent online presence.
Agree.
So, and that's what we are doing now, and I think it's.
It worked
going
for
to
us.
the
It
roof.
made us be able to reach professional decorators all over the world.
Yeah.
From New Zealand to UK to the States. We're doing France now.
Argentina.
Argentina even. It's really amazing that people are saying that in Argentina, what am I doing with the... And this is why they all asked, I want to know more what you're doing, so please do a podcast where you explain what you are doing so we can implement it here or have an understanding of a solution so we can talk to factories here and do the same.
Yeah, we have this problem in Belgium. If you do a podcast in English, nobody in Belgium will listen.
2 countries. Yeah, okay.
So that's the problem we have. So we targeted Belgium and Netherlands at first because
To pilot also.
to pilot it, and now we are doing this in English, and it's going well. So
It's amazing. We see that we have a lot of reach also from Scandinavian countries that really see, okay, wow, man, they are more likely to really act. In Belgium, they have to have the itchy caterpillar that is in the trees here. It has to itch 4 years until they come up with a solution. Okay, let's manage it.
Yeah.
Yet with the water, I understand with the studies that I'm doing that the government and everybody's seeing this really well, and they are acting upon it. So do you remember still, brother, when we could smoke cigarettes in the restaurant and even on the toilet or on the plane, just smoke?
Yeah.
And we chucked our, where we backed onze frietjes in, or baking fat from fries. They chucked it down the drain. You cannot think about this anymore. So we understand that this will be the...
But we are late with everything. If you need women rights, voting rights for women was in the year 30 or 32 all over the world, and in Belgium it was from 47.
Yeah, okay.
So it's crazy. We are really slow with it. Also with my platform, it's an issue to be an influence to
Let's
people.
hope they change mind shifts fast.
But they are changing their minds, but you need to do it like this.
Yes.
They watch influencers on the internet, and they consume content, but they don't want to be the content.
They're gonna act
until they see what it's doing
works.
for them. Yeah,
exactly.
That's really great.
So this is why I'm very thankful and grateful that we could implement this in Netherlands. We have an amazing community there from people doing this already for 3 years. Yeah. They grow with us together. They gave feedback. They say this and that. We tweak together with them, and they are becoming really like family now. We're like really people that are close, that want to engage in that are engaging in the company. So big up for Holland and this, for Netherlands. They are really one of the innovators that really see an idea when it comes and act upon it, early adopters. So until now we have their 13 deposit points throughout whole Holland. We have 3 in Belgium, 1 in Portugal, and now the world is looking and wanting to scale also in their country. So I'm managing now to be able to travel, so I can help other countries to set this up and to give my knowledge to the factories, to help us grow and to help them grow also into realization and of circular economy, and to help also the painting industry to inspire and to bring some fresh air into it with spraying the paint. Because in this trajectory, a lot of people ask me, but what about rolling, And we were able to develop a roll paint from this because it has a lot of good properties, and implement it in a roll, and everybody finds it. We are piling it now. Everybody finds it amazing. Wow, and roll paints and amazing with the big rollers from UK. Here in Belgium, they are all with 18 centimeter rollers, and sometimes at 23, like this big. But it takes such a long time to finish a wall or a ceiling. And in the UK and in the States, the professional decorators, they show us with rolls of 32 centimeters. It's done like in 2 coats. It's done. So I'm like, okay, that's better than rolling how we roll. Yet when I see the difference with spraying paint and how fast and easy it is to spray paint, I'm like, okay, this is...
But also the quality, it's really...
It feels immaculate. It feels tight. You can clean it better, especially because we have paint that you can really wash off. Not bullshit, but really you can feel it. You can wash it off. It's flat matte. It's really nice for the black label.
Say what you say. The mother.
It's the motherfucking mirror finish, guys. It's the mirror finish walls and ceiling. And I would not... I sprayed panels and I checked paint all over the globe. And for me, this is the best system, walls and ceiling, on the market. I'm not stating out for lacquers, because there are a lot of good companies that produce a lot of good lacquers. But we make the difference because our does not yellow out. Our dark colors are not... that you cannot indent them. They're really hard. The most important part, everything with low pressure, really low pressure. Your walls and ceiling is done with 100 bar, with 100 bar. And the most important, everything is lavable. You can wash everything off.
Yeah.
Easy to touch up with all colors. That together with the step-by-step, we can say that we have bulletproof combinations and systems that work everywhere.
Yeah.
It works in Russia this way because, for my feeling, from everything that I studied, Belgians are really nuts, brother. You understand. I don't, because I have a small house, because I understand what it costs to paint it. No, I don't like the maintenance. But here in Belgium, we have villas. If you're poor, you have a house with bricks and you need to have it painted inside and everything has to be really nice and tidy. That combined with the responsibility, the highest in the world, a professional decorator in Belgium is 8 years responsible for his work, man. So that means if it's not good, you can do it over. So I understood that with falling on my face because I had to do shit over with bad products. So I understood how important it is in Belgium to apply good products.
Yeah.
And other countries are seeing this also.
Yeah.
Holland is also studying really well and saying, okay, we need better paints. We need paints when you wipe it that it does not sheen, that it stays like this, because that's good for the client and they will we bring them better value than somebody else. So I said, okay, spray paints has to be the best on the market. So we keep studying in the best products that are available. So factories, if you have great products, you're saying yours is better than ours. Okay, thank you. Show me on panel, and I would like to study.
No, but there are good paints.
100%.
I'm sure, but
100%.
they need to get this label on
the
label.
pot.
Yeah.
That it's to tell them, to give them a big heart. Like all factories in the world, from everybody that I tested, they all have great paints. All factories have good paint. Yet, the combination of all paints, primers and end coats, that is really a little bit off because they all have some minors. And we've filtered them all and everything in 12 and a half years of research and development and this on the field. That means not with a microscope, but really feeling it, touching it, applying it, seeing it, how it reacts on the surface with the primer. The primer also, because you have maybe from a factory a very good end coat, but they produce very shitty primers. So when you make the combination, it does not work like it should.
Yeah.
It does not feel good because there's always something sheen, a lane, tailing, or something else that does not look right. Our actually value in these pots is the combination and the proven systems together with the step-by-step that makes an effortless result.
Yeah.
And this is what we are saying, 100% result. If you put the shiners out, you do not have any foot to stand on. If you call me and you say, hey, your shit is paint because did you apply the primer? Did you do this? No? Okay, fuck off then, okay? The combination of systems are bulletproof. That is actually the success of this. And like I said, when you have support and you make a phone call to somebody and you understand that he is a colleague and you're not talking to a salesman, but he's actually doing it on the field himself and he can tell you, okay, I make a video how I do it, it's a big support.
Yeah.
So this is also the contribution and the value that we add into a market that is already existing. I chose for the spray painting market because for me, one day, almost all rollers and brushes are gonna go to spray painting if they see how easy it is to manage. And then the most important part of this is you, the client, because in 12 years' time, from the moment I understood what spraying paint is together with your dad and what rolling paint is and the difference of the two, I presented in each offer panels to my client. And I always let the woman feel on it. And from the moment that first I let them feel a sprayed panel, and then I take the same hand and I rub it down the rolled panel, everybody, 100% of my clients said, give me that.
Yeah.
So this for me is proof, pudding, how do you say, proof of pudding?
Proof of concept? something like
that this really works. Not 90%, not 80, but 100% if you implement it in the way that it's built.
Yeah. Yeah, and with Clean Water Global, there's many possibilities because you're gonna apply it as well in my new house.
Yes.
So you everything you did, you paid by yourself now.
Exactly.
So you're building up the company. What if I want to invest in Clean Water Global?
A good question. Until now, I leveraged everything ourselves and myself. That means that we worked for money. We put the money back in the company. We sold stuff to put back in the company. And now the company is built in such a way that investors can have shares or contribute value to it. So from last month, we put it up for, okay, we have 100% of the shares. I have a knowledge of how many shares that or how few shares I would like to have in the company. And now it's a growth and a development of something that's going to be implemented globally, because I would like to grow through. That means that I don't have, this works, this is ready to work. So let's say we focus now on Clean Water Global. The most important part is that I would like to help and see the Clean Water Global implement as a real certificate on the pots of maybe bigger producers and bigger companies that are self at the moment. And that means that I would like to focus also on cleaning water globally, because yes, my vision is on cleaning water globally. That means now optimizing the painting industry, but this is built and it's figured out. So I'm already looking, okay, which market can we really make a big impact and an improvement? And that's hairdressers.
Of course. Chemicals.
Wall plasterers, people that do this with plaster, it's the same.
Yeah.
If you eat plaster, you're gonna shit really weird for a few days. So let's say this is also the plaster, the putty producers, they're gonna get their putty back this way.
Yeah.
And it's even easier to make a putty from.
Yeah.
It's easier to manipulate than paint. And if we can do this for paint in the painting industry, in the coating industry, we can do it also, for my feeling, in car washes, hairdressers. And then my biggest dream in this is, my vision for the future is not a centralized water purification system, because that means one thing has to solve all the shit from everybody. Let's have decentralized water purification system, and this is what I'm implementing in your house, and I did it already in my house, because I understood that we all together spit out our toothbrushes and our hair washing products and our dye in our hair and our glitters in our face and our paint and our every shit we put down the drain. So one centralized water purification, or a few, have to filter this out. That means that the quality of this water, when you check it, it's not that good.
Yeah.
When you filter that out and you put that in, I say in the mangelmolen, you understand that it can be better. And we produced very drinkable water from paint water, very simplistic actually. So I thought, let's do it with water from the tap. And it worked out. I put it down the system and it came out a lot better and a lot more transparent than it was in Nerutere, in here, or in Hasselt. It was completely different. And I did not try it in bigger cities where you have really a lot of lead pipes and a lot of pollution and a lot of shit going on. So I understood, okay, this is my highest purpose. I would like to see decentralized water purification system. One, we start in the painting industry. Would like to see that people use their profit to give back, to clean something, and not only clean your own process water, but also from the people around you, help your community. I would like to see that implemented, like I said, with car washes, because they put a lot of chemicals down the drain. Hairdressers, the stucadors, the one that put the putty on the wall. Then an important part of it, this is, we can spread it around like this and then focus on the private sector. Because we have already air purification systems with air ducts here in Belgium and everywhere. It's obligated, but we are pouring chemicals in our own water. So please stop doing that and make a small filter or a cassette in each house that cleans the water, so the centralized water systems are not damaged that much, because otherwise we will pay the price one day.
Yeah.
This is why I have the vision, or this is my why. Implementing Clean Water globally with decentralized water purification systems, similar as we did with the painting industry now. And yes, we would like to see this certified on each bucket that goes out,
Yeah.
because it situates that, okay, be careful what you're doing and deposit at least. We are with so many decorators. Deposit your rolls and brushes. It's cheaper to rinse them, to let them rinse and somebody else do it, than to get new ones. So why not do it at least 1 or 2 times until they're worn out and then buy new ones?
Yeah. What I remember from this topic is that all the people who go full on Clean Water Global, they will be the early adopters, and they will be, yeah, they get, how do you say it,
The benefit,
the
benefit
benefit-
of the doubt, brother,
Yeah.
at this time.
Yeah.
If you study in the European and the world globally economy, you're going to see that 2025 and 2030, the regulations and the restrictions are going to be a lot harder on us.
Yeah.
So now the people, the early adopters, they already have, they are doing it. It's easy for them. They do not have to go through a change anymore.
Yeah.
They're there yet.
But as well, if they want to invest in you, now is the moment, because when we are building a big brand like this, then it will be,
Shares are
billions.
good. If you see the market and the market value that we contribute into it, yes, brother.
I believe you got my full support. This is really amazing. I love this
for
project.
years already, brother, and you have my support also, because I see everything that we are doing and you are doing works for us. So it's gonna work for globally, brother.
Yeah.
Like Ubers, like contributions that you pay for electrical appliances. This is just a solution for the
Yeah.
calling that we get from the world outside. Okay, we have problems. Okay, we do not stuck on problems. We solve them. This is a solution. You have solutions. Let's do this. You know.
So if you guys now want to invest or be part of the Clean Water Global community, or spray paints as well, you can contact Timmy, but also we have an ambassador in the UK.
We have Colin Bidwell from Paint Shack in the UK. We're going to start up there. We are managing startup of Clean Water Global. We have Portugal. We have a lot of ambassadors. Kenny Moerenhout in Belgium, Jeroen Oostveen, Jannes Bakker. Like I said, we have people ready to roll. Erik from Green Paints as a reseller, a platform. And we're doing this with many people now, with a lot bigger team. So I'm looking forward to the beautiful future we have ahead.
So reach out on the website, and we will bring you in contact with the ambassador. And thank you very much, Timmy, for this amazing story.
Thank you for this opportunity that I can bring the story and we bring it out together in English, brother. So a good study.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye, guys.
So I built